Hey everyone, I'm Mind, and welcome back to Ninjago Revisited. If you guys are new to the series, this is a weekly series where we go back and look at older seasons of Ninjago, older pieces of Ninjago media, and talk about them with eyes at our age now, because we watched them when we were kids at first, and the show's evolved, we've evolved, so we're looking back at it, just giving our overall thoughts on the seasons as a whole, and discussing them and whatnot. So last week we talked about the pilots, it was also the pilot of this series, and this week we're going to be talking about Season 1, Rise of the Snakes. So, right off the bat, Matthew, what were your overall thoughts on this season?
It's really fun. It's honestly like better TV than I thought it would be.
I had this exact same opinion. I know we said this in last episode with the pilots, is that it was a lot better than I expected it to be looking back, but this genuinely I'm like, wow, this is genuinely really, really well done.
Yeah, it's like a genuinely good show, which is shocking.
Yeah, and it's not even that kiddie. Obviously it's made for kids to watch, but it doesn't go for lowbrow humor a lot of the time. There's a few things,
Kiddie elements, but like overall, it is watchable as an adult.
yeah, no, it's actually really well done, and I was kind of shocked to see. I think, when we finish the series, I want to do a season ranking together, because I did a video like that a year ago, and I put season 1 high mid tier, because I was like, yeah, it's good, but the other seasons are better. But honestly, I don't think I give it enough credit, because I feel like I'm like, oh, I don't want to I don't want nostalgia to hold this over other things, but genuinely, it was really, really well done.
No, definitely.
Every character gets focused. The bonds between the characters are so well done.
I, I almost like I teared up at Zane's True Potential
Yeah,
episode.
yeah, no, it's such a good. So we'll go through episode by episode. But I think that might be the best episode of the season.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I got chills at all of their True Potential scenes.
Yeah, no, it's so good.
How is a Lego TV show emotional?
And then the snakes are such fun villains.
They're really good villains.
They are.
I've not given them enough credit.
No, it's Pythor is genuinely just a well-written villain, and the other ones are a perfect mixture of silly and also good antagonists. That it just makes her. It's both fun but also really well written, and I really see why I was so obsessed with this when I was younger, and why this is still my thing today. Because
it honestly is revitalizing my love for Ninjago.
For sure, no, me too. I was literally watching this and going wow, I want to get out all my snake minifigures again.
I know, and that's how I want to finish the snake collection.
Yeah, no, it's I did that years ago, but yeah, it's so cool.
No, I'm shocked by how good this still is.
Yeah, no, it's really impressive.
I enjoyed the whole thing.
Yeah, and I feel like the toy integration was done really well.
It's done better than I remember it.
Yeah. So you want to go through episode by episode?
Yeah, let's do that.
And then we got some feedback from the last episode. One thing I want to do at the end of this is give our a number out of 10 ranking, because I saw a lot of people suggest that, and I think that's good. Now that doesn't mean if we give one episode an 8 out of 10, another episode a 7 out of 10. That doesn't mean when we make our tier list it's gonna necessarily keep that. But this is just as its own on its own as its own thing. Our number ranking will be based on that. But let's go through each of the episodes. So first is Rise of the Snakes, which is also the name of the full season. So this was the first episode, season 1. This is where they go, and Lloyd's just trying to terrorize the town, and everyone laughs at him. And then Lloyd just stumbles across the Hypnobri, hypnotizes Slitherer, and then they go back and wreak havoc on the city. And then the ninja chase him out. I think this one was a strong start to the series. It's definitely lower stakes than a lot of the other ones, but it was still very fun.
The stakes definitely rise as it goes on.
I do have to say, the rewatching this, there is a lot of plot convenience that happens. They don't go for the most logical things 99% of the time, but that's okay. I don't really mind that, because it never takes me out of it. Little things oh, Lloyd just finds the Hypnobride tomb. Oh, the map is just sitting there. It's silly. It could have been done better, but it doesn't take away from anything.
It doesn't ruin the experience, and also there's a very high threshold for suspension of disbelief in Lego TV shows.
Yeah.
I'm not oh, that's unrealistic. I don't care. It's Lego.
Yeah, no, it's fun, and it doesn't it doesn't take me out of anything. It's just something I noticed watching it with more grown eyes.
I don't hold this to the same standard that I would a live action show or
Yeah.
like both or like
Yeah.
actual TV, like actual like adult aimed TV
Yeah,
shows.
no,
Because
I
this
agree.
show,
And then it drives the plot forward, and like the important plot
yeah,
elements are fine. One thing I find really funny that Ninjago does though is a lot of times like they will foreshadow stuff, but in the beginning of the same episode. Like,
yes,
it's not like they foreshadow episodes. Like sometimes they foreshadow episodes ahead, but a lot of times they're like in this episode, Lloyd's talking about the serpentine at the beginning, and then he stumbles upon the serpentine just randomly. Like, I just find that really goofy. It's not a criticism; it's more just something I enjoy that they do.
yeah, no, they're very self-contained episodes.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
it tackles the whole like idea of the ninja haven't fought in a while, so they got to get back to it thing. Well, also something else I noticed is a few times this season they dub characters wrong. The Cole and Kai get mixed up a lot.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, a few times like Kai's voice comes out of Cole, or Cole's voice comes out of Kai, which is just I just find that pretty funny. But yeah, I think this was a strong start to the series.
I didn't realize, just a side note, how long they wore their like pilot costume.
First 5 episodes I think they did.
I think I think episode 6 or 7 they get the new costumes.
Yeah.
But I was surprised by that.
And they continue to wear these. I mean, we'll talk about season 2 next week, but they continue to wear these costumes halfway through season 2 as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know modern seasons they just don't explain the costume changes a lot. Though actually, the most modern seasons they do, but like 4 through 10 really the costumes just sort of appeared.
Yeah, no, they've been very good about like the costumes making sense.
Yeah. But these are like these early seasons they always like they change for a reason, which is cool.
Yeah.
No, I think it's fine that they don't do it as much nowadays because like I don't need, if every season's only going to be so many episodes, I don't need every season to be like, okay guys, here's your new outfit. Like,
well, here's the thing: they've had essentially one sec. They've had this line of suits for what 4 or 5 seasons now.
Yeah.
It's just they like wear slightly different things, usually like like different armor or different costumes.
No, I'm more referring to like before those suits, like in Sons of Garmadon, they didn't go, all right guys, you got these new ninja suits now. Like no, they just had them, but that's okay.
That was a reboot, so
yeah. I mean, even like Day of the Departed, Possession, they never really explain those outfit changes, but that's fine.
Episode.
What?
Episode 2.
Episode 2 is Home. So this is another one of my favorite episodes. This is the one where Zane follows the Falcon, and they find Lloyd's tree.
I have so many good memories of this episode.
Yeah, me too. The monastery burns down. Yeah, I adore this episode. You get to see Lloyd being a little dum-dum.
No girls allowed.
No girls allowed.
I see one girl, I'm gonna lose it.
No, if I see one girl in here, I'm gonna go ballistic.
Oh, that's...
Yeah. And they establish Zane here. It sets up for episode... I also know Zane's kind of the main character this season. Zane and Jay both get a lot of focus, like more so than Kai and Cole do.
Also, just a little aside. I'll mention this later.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll remember it.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I'm just trying to... Yeah, they establish the Falcon here, which is cool. This is where the monastery burns down, which it made me kind of happy to see that, like, 14 seasons later, like, they're back to the monastery again.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, it's just really cool to me.
It's kind of emotional when it burns down.
Yeah, it is, and... Yeah, it's just so cool. And this really showed off the snakes too, like just the visual humor with them just doing random things in the background and whatnot. They're just so much fun. And then the final scene of Slither and Scales fighting in the Slither pit for the
I love that scene.
That was like my favorite scene as a kid. I remember when I used to play with the toys, I used to pretend that like I would always have the snakes fight for the staff, and then one would become the general and whatnot, like, just based off this one scene. That was just the coolest thing. And also, I feel like I was misremembering the action in these, too, because I thought, like, the action was kind of bad, but maybe it gets worse, but, yeah, it's decent in this season, honestly. Like, I still think Wild Brain's better with their action, for sure, but This isn't as bad as I remember it being.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Episode 3, Snake Bait. Snake Bit.
Episode 3, Snake Bit. This introduces the Fang Pyro, who are my favorite tribe.
Yeah.
Which of the snake tribes is your favorite of the 5? What? Hypnobrai? Yeah. Yeah, the Fang Pyro have always been my favorite, just because I love the idea that they bite things and they turn them into snakes. Though I watching this, I was kind of wondering, what was the point of turning Jay's parents into snakes?
I don't know.
Like, because it didn't change them. Like, they were still good guys. It didn't change their...
I don't know.
Like, what was the point? But they... And this is also the episode where they get their golden weapon vehicles.
Yes.
And it establishes the sacred... No, the sacred flute was a few episodes earlier.
I think that's episode 1.
Yeah, it is, yeah. But the Fang Pyro just biting things and it turns them into giant snake vehicles is so dumb, but it's just so much fun.
I like that the vehicles are alive, too.
Yeah. I have every single snake vehicle except for the Wrecking Ball, and it makes me really want to get the Wrecking Ball watching this.
Yeah, you should get the Wrecking Ball.
Yeah. Technically I have it, but it's in pieces, and I don't know if I have all the parts.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the golden weapon vehicles, it's such a silly concept.
It's incredibly stupid.
Like, it's like, these are supposed to be ancient weapons forged by the person who created the slide, and they can all turn into vehicles.
So, my only thought with that is that it turns into what they want it to turn
into.
Exactly.
That was my thought watching it back, too, is that, like, the weapons have the capacity to transform into a vessel, and the transformation is what that character imagined it to be. So Kai's got his cool motorbike, Zane has, like, a sleek, quick thing, Jay's got a thing that can shoot him in the air, and Cole's got this, like, large, massive vehicle that's all about damage. Like,
yeah.
And I think, with that context, I don't mind that lore as much.
Because I honestly consider that also, like, this makes no sense, but I feel like it feels like they have a lot of control over what the vehicles are.
Yeah, no, I feel like, I don't know if that's canon or not, but I think that's at least how I'm going to interpret it, because I feel like that helps it make a little more sense in universe rather than the first Fujitsu master going, okay, now this sword's gonna turn into a motorcycle.
Yeah. No, like, I think that is my headcanon also, just like, it's like, the golden weapon is an extension of the master of the weapon.
Yeah. This episode also establishes Jay's parents, who, like, this side characters here, while there's not many in these early seasons, they're really well done too, like...
Yes,
and I love them, like, embarrassing Jay in front of everybody else, like...
I know.
Yeah. Especially Nia, yeah. Alright, episode 4. Never Trust the Snake. What was this one? Oh, this is what establishes Pythor.
Yeah, when they go on their playdate, and then Pythor's like, actually... Screw you, I'm gonna go do my own thing.
Yeah, so actually, no, first this episode opens with the close-up shot of the Falcon going, "Wake up, Zane."
Oh, yeah.
This is another scene that's, like, very, like, essential to my childhood. Like,
yeah.
I remember watching this scene over and over, pausing it to try to look at the Green Ninja and being like, who is it?
Oh, yeah.
Even though literally, like, it has Lloyd's eyes in the scene, like, they didn't make a new Green Ninja model, they put Lloyd's eyes on it, but... Like, I remember watching it over and over and be like, oh my god, guys, it's the Green Ninja, no way! And then I'm like, but it's Zane's vision, so Zane's gonna be the Green Ninja, because that was my theory when I was a kid.
I honestly don't remember what I thought.
Yeah, I don't know if I thought it was gonna be Zane, but I wanted it to be Zane, and then, like, because Wu has that line in episode 2 where Zane's like, will I be the Green Ninja? And Sensei Wu goes, I don't know, we will see. And I was like, yes. And yeah, so then we get the Anaconda established and Pythor introduced, who is such a great character.
One of, like, the most underrated Ninjago villains.
Yeah, I would love to see him come back in some form, and we'll see more of him when we get to seasons 3 and 4, and I guess Day of the Departed as well. But
you see him
what?
You see him a lot.
Yeah, a few times, but after... I mean, Day of the Departed, he doesn't do very much. So after season 4, really, he's mostly gone. But yeah, he's such a cool villain. The fact that he like ate his entire tribe is so like
I know.
so creepy. Like
Yeah.
yeah, he's such a good, and I like the way that character is played too. The way the voice actor does him is so good, and the animation with his neck and his mouth and everything. He's got such a feel to him that I just genuinely love so much how that character is done. Yeah, he like he tricks Lloyd into thinking they're friends. He's like, nah, you're kind of a child and you suck. Like, also,
Lloyd is a little piece of poo, honestly.
He is a little.
Excuse my language, but he's kind of a piece of crap.
I can't believe what that character is nowadays. Like, that is not the same person at all.
No, I mean he's also like a child.
Then. Yeah.
Seeing the character development, like knowing what all like where all these characters are now, as opposed to like this, is cool.
Yeah, I know it's super cool for sure. Also, this episode established Darkly's boarding school for bad boys, which is just another thing that's clearly just like a writer's room thing, like just a silly kid show thing, but then they had to do 10 years of the show, and then like this has to be like a part of lore now. Like, why did Misako and Garmadon send him to a boarding school for bad boys?
I don't know.
Like, what's
it's
that?
Also like very obvious watching this that like they had no idea what was going to happen in the next seasons.
Yeah. I think they had some plans for season 2, but
yeah,
I mean, obviously nothing beyond that. It was supposed to end after season 2.
I definitely can tell that they had no intention of bringing Dr. Julian into season 2.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I mean, you can even tell with the pilots, they had no intention of making Zane a robot back then.
No.
They, like, I think they've said in interviews, like, literally, the only reason Zane's a robot is because they had that idea after hearing how Brent Miller played him.
What?
They've said, I think Tommy Andreasen has said in an interview, or maybe it was the Hagemans, said that the only reason Zane became a robot is because after Brent Miller voice acted the pilots, they came up with that idea based on the way Brent Miller played him. Huh. Like, he wasn't written as a robot in the pilots, but based on Brent Miller's voice and just the incantation of his voice, that's what he became. Which, it's really cool. Anything else major? And then, so, Pythor leaves, he's got the map to the other other tombs, and Lloyd joins the ninja. And right, this was also the episode where Wu, like, sends them to like, figure out what the best way to defeat your enemy is. I love how that carries out through the entire season, how, like, Wu has his lessons, and, like, they're working together as a team to figure out his lessons, and, like, this isn't the only episode that does that. Like, something about that is just, it's so good to me, and the way they, like, I feel like they incorporate good morals for kids into these episodes without, like, making it really heavy-handed.
Yeah.
They're not at the end of every episode, you hear that, kids? You should always do that. Like, it's done in a way where it's Wu teaching the ninja, and like it's incorporated into the story well. Like the lessons come into play when they're.
No, it's not just like preaching for the sake of preaching.
Yeah.
Like sense, it's a teacher teaching his student.
And they always have like the lesson come into play at the end of the episode, which is like it's a small touch, but I really like that. All right, next we have one of my personal favorite episodes, Can of Worms. This is the Pink Ninja episode.
Yes, this one's really good.
But even outside of the whole Pink Ninja bit, this episode is one of my favorites. It was as a kid, just because I love just everything that happens. So this establishes both the Constricti and the Venomarian, because Pythor has unleashed both of them.
They're kind of side tribes.
Yeah, I mean, because they don't have full episodes dedicated to them.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, the Venomari spit is cool to see. The Constricti are definitely the weakest, like, the least established, because literally all they do is be strong.
Yeah.
And dig, I guess. They can dig. That's their thing. Well, I guess, no, this opens on the whole, like, destructive power of rumors thing, where Lloyd goes around and tells everybody, hey, other person did this thing.
Yep. Actually, me.
Yep. But then actually, it was Wu's idea, but actually it was Lloyd's idea to make it Wu's idea.
Yeah.
A little trickster, that little guy.
Yeah.
He's a tricky little fella.
It'd be crazy if he became a green ninja.
It would be crazy if he became the green ninja. but then yeah, so when the team splits up, the expedition with Cole and Zane and then Kai and Jay to go to the two tombs.
Yeah.
I always loved those scenes as a kid, just seeing the team split up and just seeing like two characters interact instead of all four.
Am I wrong, or is this the first Samurai X episode?
This is the first Samurai X episode. Yes. That happens towards the end. But yeah, so Cole and Zane. Yeah. That's right. Yeah, because this episode's like in two parts. Like there's the tomb raiding, and then there's the going to Ninjago City to like ruin the meeting with the destructive power of rumors.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it shows Pythor like unleashing all the different tribes. The Venomaari are like probably my second favorite tribe though, because they're just so much fun.
Yeah.
The animation on those guys is very funny too. For some reason, all the Spittas always have their necks scrunched up.
Yeah.
Like they look really dumb. I love that. Yeah. So then we see Samurai X, and they go back up to the thing, and Kai's all Venomari'd out.
Yeah.
And then they go into the Serpentine Tomb. Oh, right. So they go into Ninjago City, and I realized there's also a line in there when they mentioned that like they've never been to Ninjago City before.
Yeah, I thought that was weird because that's where Cole is from.
I don't think so, actually. I think Cole's from a smaller village. Okay. Cole's not from the city. And I just think they stopped going to the smaller villages after like the early seasons. Like Ninjago City becomes where everything happens when, like, they only really go to it in this episode and in the finale.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That was an interesting touch that it's become such a prominent location now, and it didn't used to be back then.
A side thing, because we never see like Jamonikai Village anymore. Or,
no.
Like, smaller places.
No. Because like Jamonikai stuck around for a while, but like I don't think.
I think they stopped going to Jamonikai Village because it was right next to the temple, and they don't the temple.
Yeah.
I mean, they do now, but like they didn't for a very long time.
Yeah. Yeah, then Zane. So this is another Zane episode, and Zane in his pink suit blends in with a Guitar Hero poster.
Yes.
And then he ices them out of there, and that scene where he like creates the ice tunnel and they all hop on his vehicle and speed away.
That's great.
And then Pythor says to Scales, "Get your hands off me!"
There's so many. I need to like honestly write down all the one-liners in this show.
There's so many good one-liners. I think it's episode 2. Cole says "Holy cannoli."
Yes. Yeah.
I love that line. Yeah, so that's that episode. One of my favorites. That's probably my second or third favorite episode of this entire season. Like,
I have different favorites.
Okay, it's just a really, to me, it's just a really fun mixture of action and lore. Like, sets up snakes, it shows the characters in unique situations, you got cool Zane moments. It's everything I love.
I know we have the same favorite episode, though.
Yes, yeah. I think we were recording when we said what that was, but...
Yeah.
Alright, episode 6 is the Snake King. So this is when they discover the lost city of Ouroboros.
This one is really good.
This one is really good. I want to imagine if we got like a D2C Ouroboros set.
I was thinking, honestly, it's like pretty mockable. Like you could make a Lego set style Ouroboros.
Yeah, like it's honestly not that hard. It's just a statue of the Great Devourer and a bunch of stands.
The Great Devourer statue, like where they unlock it, is I think just like a scaled up version of the $7 Zane set from 2012.
Yeah, probably. That sounds about right.
It's very similar.
Yeah. Yeah, so Pythor's just out digging, and they find the lost city of Ouroboros.
Yeah. Yes, you do.
And this is when they're trying to find the identity of Samurai X.
Yes.
I
can't stand him.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is when they're trying to find... For some reason, I remembered that, like, I thought Samurai X's identity was kept a secret for longer, but it was literally one episode.
It was 2.
I mean,
at the end of the episode?
Yeah, she appears last episode, and then you find out at the end of this episode.
So, okay, I think it was a secret for longer because I think she was in media when the season started.
Yeah, well, she was in the first wave of sets, so I think that's what we just knew the minifigure. And even though she literally had the Nia face print exactly, for some reason my child brain could not comprehend that it might be Nia.
I always like.
I knew it could be Nia, but for some reason I wasn't convinced. Like, I was like, it might not be Nia. It might be some other woman. Like, I think because the one side of her face was similar to Nia, but the other side wasn't.
Okay.
Like, it was really bad about not including spoilers in sets, though, man.
Yeah. They've gotten better. What they do now is for Marvel and Star Wars and stuff, they just make completely inaccurate sets.
Yeah. Remember how the Sons of Garmadon sets came with the Samurai X Pixel and Resurrected Lord Garmadon?
Yep.
Even though those were both, like, end-of-season reveals.
I remember that.
That was so cool. Yeah, so then they're all obsessed about Samurai X that Kai just leaves Lloyd off in an arcade and goes, "Take care of yourself, kid."
How old is Lloyd, by the way? Like 6?
Yeah, he's like 5 or 6, I think.
No, I think he's more like 8.
Yeah, I don't know. He's young. Yeah. And he finds some snake costume and the snakes believe him.
I like how they only don't believe him when he drops the maracas.
Yeah, because that was the convincing part. Even though, like, most of the snakes don't rattle anyway. Like,
yeah. I don't think, like, any of them rattle.
Yeah. Dude, we'll see this as the show goes on, but, in, like, half of the seasons, the ninja get by just, like, dressing up like the enemies. And they don't even do a good job at it. But...
Yep.
So yeah, so then Lloyd goes to the city of Ouroboros and gets captured, so then the ninja have to go follow him, and then how did Samurai X get captured? I guess Nia went off on her own to try to save him and also got captured?
They never explain that, but that's what I'll assume.
Yeah, because, like, they're just like, Pytho's just like, "Now for your enemy," and he just opens up a cage and Nia's in there, and like...
Yeah.
How did she get there? But they fight Samurai X, and then Samurai X is like, "We must continue to pretend as though we are fighting." And then they're like,
something completely glossed over is the whole Wu story arc. That's happening right now.
Oh, did that happen here?
I think that starts in this episode.
Maybe at the... Yeah, at the end of this episode. No, I think it's the beginning of next episode. Yeah, because at the end of this episode, Wu hands Nia one of her weapons, Samurai X weapons, as like a thing of Wu going, "Hey, I know it's you." It's the beginning of TikTok that Wu leaves. But yeah, so then they get out of there, and then Nia and Kai land in the desert, and Kai discovers it's Nia, and he goes, "No way, a girl?"
Yeah. Something else. This season is kind of divided into like 3 or 4 story arcs.
Yeah, no, it's for sure, because there's the introducing the 5 tribes. This episode's kind of out of place. Like, this isn't really anything, but then it gets into the True Potential arc, and then it gets into the Great Devourer arc. Then the True Potential coincides with the Fang Blades.
Yes.
Yeah, but I agree. This episode's really good. Ouroboros is awesome.
I love Ouroboros. Would love to get like a D2C Ouroboros. I know that will never happen, but
also, another thing we glossed over was Pythor, like, teaming up with Scales to, like, trick the other tribes into joining him. That was cool. I liked that.
And that Slither Pit is really fun to watch.
Yeah, no, it is. It's super cool. Yeah, this was a really good episode too.
I honestly think for a kids show, they do really good world building.
For sure, yeah. Well, I think this is why it connected with so many kids. I see it so much, like, fun and relatable characters, right? And great world building, interesting story, and it's also it keeps your attention without having to, like, flash things on your face every 2 seconds, like. So many. It's not Teen Titans Go where the characters gotta shove their butt in front of the camera to.
Is that a thing?
Yes, it's all butt jokes. Not that there isn't any quality there, but a lot of it is butt jokes from what I've seen.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like there is some childish humor in here, but the childish humor comes from the characters themselves being childish characters, not because the writers want to make them do childish things. Like, nothing seems out of character from them. Like, I believe that Jay in universe is gonna laugh when the word butt echoes down the
Yeah.
cavern, right?
I mean, Matthew would probably laugh.
Brix my mind would probably laugh at that.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving next to episode 7, TikTok. This is the best episode of the season.
It's honestly something else. When we finish the series, we should like do our top like 5 or top 10 episodes.
Yeah, I think that could be good.
Tender for like top 3.
Yeah. But yeah, this is the best episode of the season. It was my favorite episode as a kid because Zane was my favorite ninja, but it's just also looking back now that I appreciate the other characters a little bit more, I still think it's the best written one because it's got such an emotional aspect to it, and it's all done so well.
Yeah.
The opening scene of this is so good too, when it just opens on like the clock gears turning, and then it's like pans down to Zane underwater, and Kai goes, "Whoa, he's inhuman."
Yeah. No, this episode is really good. Something else. Jay is my favorite ninja, and will always be my favorite ninja because that's what it was as a kid. But like watching the show as an adult, Cole is my favorite character.
Yeah. Cole's really good in the early seasons. He's like the most level-headed one.
Like, he is the character I relate to the most, and like by far my favorite character. And it's like, if I wasn't so connected to Jay, I'd say he is my favorite ninja, but like Jay's just my guy.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Like, Cole is my favorite character.
Yeah. No. I totally get that. Yeah, so this is when Wu says see you later, and he goes off to the Realm of Madness, which is our first look at one of the other 16 realms, and it's also our first introduction to Mistake, who's just like random one-off character this season, but she becomes like major lore element in season 9, which is just really cool.
No, it is really cool. This is our first Ninjago introduction to non-Lego like CG characters.
What do you mean, with the tree horns?
No, well, okay, the tree horns, and in the what dimension is Garmadon and Wu in?
Oh right, I forgot about that part.
Different creatures. They fight like mud creatures.
I think that actually might be next episode. I think this episode Wu literally just walks in, and then Garmadon goes, "Hello, brother."
Okay.
But yeah, we'll get to that next episode.
The tree horns are honestly some of the least terrifying. They're scary, but they're like not terrifying because of their
They're
CG.
scary in the way they're intended to be. Yeah, Wildbrain does not know how to make CG animals or creatures or whatnot. No, or Will Film does not know how to. Did you notice the bird in later episodes? The fat bird?
No.
There's a really terrible looking bird. It's just like an oval with a face on it, and it's just got wings on the side and really long legs.
I feel like I remember that.
Yeah, it's really bad, and it popped up a few times this season. I was like, oh my goodness, what is this?
A lot of the animals feel like something you'd see at like a bad art show in New York City, and you're like, wow, that's something.
Wait till we get to Dareth's dog in season 6.
I don't even remember that.
It tap dances, Matthew.
I don't remember
that. Anyway, so Wu leaves after telling them you've reached peak physical potential, but you have to reach peak mental potential as well. You have to find what's holding you back. Now goodbye. So then they chase the bird. Also, the music in the show is so good.
Yes.
Like, the score is so, like, the Falcon, like, every time a theme popped up, I knew exactly what it was. Like, it's all so iconic. Like, the skeleton theme pops up when the skeletons appear,
I love the skeleton scenes in this season, by the way.
They're so good. Yeah, I miss Crunch and Knuckle. I miss them so much.
I'd love for them to show up again sometimes.
Yeah, me too. But anyway, so they all sprint down to the birch forest from Minecraft.
Also, I love this environment.
Yeah,
so much.
It's so pretty. They should really like visit it again.
I know. I like how much this explores just like Ninjago main. Like,
yeah.
So the best way I could describe Ninjago as like, if it was a video game, seasons like 1 until what's the Chen season 4?
Yeah.
Seasons 1 through 3 are like mainline, like this is the original release, and then seasons 4 on are like expansion pass seasons.
So I feel like 3 is in a weird place where it's not, because it's not part of the original run, but I feel like it's closer to the original run than it is to 4 through 7.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
but like it feels like the rest of the stuff, like after season 3 though, it feels very much like expansion pass content. Like they go to the islands,
and right, there's islands, they go to other realms, they go, a genie pops up, and they go to islands in that season 2. I guess 7 is a little more grounded.
What's 7?
Time Twins, you haven't seen that one yet. 8's pretty grounded too. 9 less so.
No, but a lot of it just goes like, this is main Ninjago and everything else is like expansion past DLC content.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because like this feels like they're really exploring and setting up Ninjago, like the continent.
Yeah, and it just creates such a diverse world, which is so cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, we're getting off track. So they
like, as someone who reads a lot of books, like Ninjago is legit epic fantasy. Mm-hmm. Like it falls under the category of epic fantasy.
Yeah. Even more so with more recent seasons, like
yeah, no, like Ninjago is literally epic fantasy. Like,
yeah.
If this was books, like it would be. Dude, I would actually really love that.
Well, there are books coming out. They're
like
what?
Aren't they like kid books?
I mean, I'm sure they're intended for younger audiences, but like, I don't think they're like baby books. They're prequels about Wu and Garmadon going on adventures.
Oh.
I might read them at some point, just out of curiosity.
Yeah.
Anyway, we should probably get back to this episode.
Yeah.
So they chase the Falcon, and everyone gets tired out except for Zane to show, hey, Zane kind of wacky.
Yeah.
And then Falcon falls, and then Zane goes, "You're a robot?" And like, obviously, I know all this going in, but I'm getting flashbacks to when I was a kid watching this for the first time.
So sorry to interrupt you, but I never found this emotional as a kid. But like tears weren't in my eyes in this episode.
Yeah,
like
I wasn't emotional, but just like I could feel like how well those emotional beats hit, and it was just so well done. And also other thing, I want the robot that defends the treehouse. I want that as a set.
I agree.
That would be really cool. But yeah, when Zane goes down, he finds the Falcon's thing, he fixes him, and then he finds his own blueprints underneath.
Yep.
And he's just like so shocked. And then the memory switch scene when he flips it and that music plays and you get a flashback to Dr. Julian making him, and God, it's so good. So good.
Yeah, it's the best episode.
It's the best episode. It's literally a perfect mix of emotional and fun and world building and the fact the way the other ninja talk to Zane after finding out he's a ninjoid, where it's just I think it's again another important message for kids too, that be like, hey, people could be different. You might think people are weird, but you can still love them for who they are.
Yeah,
and I think that's like important for kids to learn. Like, good show.
It's very good. It's really, really good.
Yeah. Someone should do a compilation every time we say the word good in this video, but
that would be painful to watch.
Well done. Incredibly adequate.
It's stupendous.
Stupendous. Oh, I feel like another benefit of the season when I was a kid is these came out weekly, so like I had time to ruminate on all these episodes, and I would like rewatch them multiple times before the next episode came out, so I know them so well.
Yeah. I didn't do that as a kid, so.
Yeah. Next is episode 8, Once Bitten, Twice Shy. This is the J True Potential episode. Do you want to talk about this one? Because you're the J guy.
This is my second favorite episode of the season, just because I love J.
Yeah.
This episode is so much fun. I love watching like Nia and Jay before they're like an actual relation, like an actual couple.
It's really cute, and it makes me very upset what they do with that in season 3. I
completely agree. It honestly, that makes no sense.
Yeah, we'll talk about that when we get to that season, but yeah, like just looking at this now, it makes me very upset about that.
Yeah, because it was totally uncalled for.
Yeah.
But regardless, not with that out of mind. Like, this episode is adorable. I like that Nia very clearly likes him too. Yeah. Like, it's not just he's forcing.
Yeah,
Or,
it's not
like,
a one-sided thing. Like, there's both sides there.
yeah.
And Jay, like, trying his hardest to impress her, and I think having the context of this episode, I'm really excited to watch Skybound again, because that's what Skybound is about, is Jay, like, trying to impress Nia, and Nia, like, telling her, like, she likes him for him.
Yeah.
Like,
I can't wait to get to Skybound again.
Yeah, Skybound's gonna be so fun to get to.
I've not watched that since it came out either. So
Really?
I've not any season after season 4 I've not watched since it came out.
That'll be really fun then.
Yeah, no, like I've not seen most of this stuff since I was in like early high school.
Yeah.
So it's been a while since like I watched seasons 1 through 3 in my freshman year of high school, which is literally almost 8 years ago.
Jeez.
And that was the last time I had seen that.
Jeez.
Then after that, I only watched the seasons as they came out.
Yeah. Oh, this will be fun to rewatch. Yeah, I've watched stuff more recently, but I'm still excited to watch it again.
Anyways, moving on. But I don't have much else to say about this episode. It's fun.
It does the Fangpire thing again, but I think it's done well, and it shows Jay's insecurities, which he needs to overcome to unlock his true potential, which, cool. Another good lesson for kids. The Jay and Nia stuff's cute. This is also the Mud Monster episode. Yes. I don't remember those. I do not remember those when I was... Like, I remember there being CG creatures, but I do not remember the Mud Monsters looking like that.
I don't either.
I remember the Power Miners Rock Monsters from next episode.
Yeah.
But I did not remember the Mud Monsters, but those things were disturbing.
Yes.
And Garmadon was literally about to go like, "Hi, Wu, thanks for coming here. Now drown in mud."
Yup. As you do.
As you do, you know. This also shows us Mega Monster Amusement Park for the first time, which, cool location.
No, I thought they went there in another episode.
Oh no, the first Samurai X episode, you're right. I think they did.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're back here, though, and it's... Yeah.
You definitely get this episode.
Yeah, no, and it's a cool location. Again, more world expansion.
Yeah.
Next is the Royal Blacksmiths, which is the culture potential episode. This one I liked a lot more than I did as a kid.
I liked it way more than I did as a kid.
I did love it a lot as a kid, but like there's emotional beats I guess I didn't really recognize as a kid that I recognize now. Especially with the context of Master of the Mountain and like knowing about Cole's mother now. Obviously they didn't have that intended when they wrote this episode, but like that plays along with this episode.
It's very good though. Like,
and the Cole's father initially being so protective and whatnot, and like wanting him to be a singer instead of doing anything dangerous, kind of goes hand in hand with the fact that his mother was a warrior and she passed away, and that kind of gives explanation as to why he was like hesitant for Cole to do anything.
Yeah.
But he's like, but then at the end where he's like, "Listen, as long as you're fighting for the right cause and doing the right thing, like, I support you no matter what."
Else that I really appreciated was when his dad like found out that they were trying to like only there to steal the blade. He wasn't mad that like they weren't like he wasn't a dancer. He was mad that he was like gonna steal it.
Right. Which is good.
I appreciated that. Like, it's not like they didn't make his father just like the bad guy.
Yeah.
Like,
no.
Right.
Yeah.
He was like, "Look, this means a lot to me, and you should earn it."
Yeah, and I think I feel like you can resonate with a lot of kids where it's like father and son can be very different people, but they can still care a lot about each other.
So, like, after watching the season, like, I honestly think Cole is my favorite Ninjago character.
Yeah.
I've said that too for a while. Like,
yeah.
As an adult, he's my favorite ninja.
Yeah.
But I like genuinely just like his stuff has been really great.
There's also a lot of really funny stuff in this episode. The ninjas singing their whole dance routine is funny.
Yep.
My favorite line as a kid that still got a chuckle out of me now was when Zane goes, "I have butterflies in my stomach."
Yes. Yeah.
And then he goes, "No, I literally have butterflies." And then Jay goes, "Okay, well, I'm glad he got that out of his system." That's so good.
It is. Yeah.
And then at the end of this episode, so Cole unlocks his true potential. That scene was great, where he...
Agreed.
Honestly, I feel like this was not as, like, emotional as the Zane episode, but it comes pretty close. Like,
I was shocked. I did not realize it was this emotion. I thought this was just, like, a stupid, funny episode.
Yeah, no, me too. And there is a lot, but it's... Again, I think this show does a really good job of, like, mixing emotional beats with lessons and with humor and with story. Like, it's well done. It's a good show.
Really well
done. Yeah, and, like... all you texted me this when you watched all the true potential scenes are just genuinely awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it was super cool. And then this episode ends with Garmadon and Wu jumping out of the evil realm, and
well, actually, Wu's pushed into it.
Yeah, Wu's pushed into it, and
the thing is very strange. Like, it feels like a very will they won't they. Like, is he going to be a bad guy or is he going to be a good guy?
Yeah, Garmadon's a strange character. And unfortunately, I feel like he doesn't really get elaborated upon until Sons of Garmadon, because he's just weird in season 2, which we'll get to next week. But I do like him a lot in season 1, because he's just sort of like chaotic neutral, I guess I would define him as.
I honestly think Garmadon is one of the downfalls of it.
Really?
I honestly feel like in this season his writing felt very aimless, and they weren't sure what they wanted to do with him, and it feels like it shows.
See, that's how I feel about him in season 2. For season 1, I do like him. I feel like especially his relationship with Lloyd, which we'll get into next episode, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about that when we get to that episode. But I don't mind Garmadon this season. I think he's a fun character. There's definitely a lot of things that are just like, why are you doing that? But he is supposed to be a little chaotic, and he's supposed to be evil, but he's not entirely, and that's his whole thing, is the struggle between that. But I guess they don't frame it enough as a struggle, and it's more him just being like, uh-oh, what's he gonna do next?
Yeah.
Which I feel like that, like, when we get to 8, 9, and 10, they do that whole struggle so much better.
Yeah.
But that's because they're going for a darker tone, while Garmadon's trying to be evil and also goofy and also not evil, maybe. So
yeah, it felt very much just like they weren't sure what's happening with him.
Yeah, I don't know if I necessarily completely agree with that, but I definitely feel like he's done better in later seasons.
Agreed.
Alright, next episode is the Green Ninja. This is the Kai True Potential episode, as well as the Lloyd's revealed to be the Green Ninja episode.
Make a note. I love that Kai's like the hot-headed one, and he's the last one to unlock his true potential.
Yeah, no, and like literally in the Cole episode, he was talking about how he doesn't have it yet, and like this episode's about him still not having it yet. And the thing he had to overcome was him realizing he's not going to be the Green Ninja.
Yes.
Like, he has to be okay with himself for who he is.
Yeah,
he doesn't have to be the strongest and the best. He just has to do what's right, and I think that's important character development for him. It fits his character, like that matches the character from the pilots that we saw.
No, he's honestly like the most unchanged for this season.
I definitely feel like he's also like the most sideline character this season, which I didn't remember as a kid, but the other three get way more focused than Kai does. I guess he gets some. Like, he was kind of the focus of the first Samurai X episode, and obviously this episode. But it's this. If we had to pick a main character, I'd say it would be Zane this season. But
I'd say Jay.
Yeah, because Zane and Jay are the two that get 2 episodes, like that are clearly about them. Or Zane actually gets 3 because he has the Pink Ninja episode as well.
Oh, true. Yeah, but that's not just him.
But he is the conclusion. He gets like the earlier part of that episode's everybody, but
I guess the one thing I will say though, this season is more balanced than I thought it was.
Yeah, no, for sure.
All Kai all the time.
No, Kai's the least focused one, for sure. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, Kai. I love the scene where Kai's in the Green Ninja suit. He's like, yeah, and who knows when Sensei's gonna be back? And then Sensei goes, I'm back!
That was good.
And then, yeah, this is when Garmadon joins the crew, and there's that really silly scene of him, like, brushing his teeth and,
like a nail file.
And just, like, annoying everybody. Yeah. But then, like, everyone seems annoyed in that scene, and then one scene later, everyone except for Kai is like, he's not that bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, that side of Garmadon, like the goofiness of Garmadon, I'm not the biggest fan of, just because I feel like it kind of takes away from the antagonistic properties of him.
But
and it's not like Pythor or Scales where it kind of fits in the character. Garmadon's meant to be the Dark Lord, the ultimate evil, until the Overlord's introduced. So having him be this like goofball is a little bit strange.
Yeah. I also like that he eats sludge.
But his relationship with Lloyd, I do really enjoy how he like cares a lot about his son, which we see more, especially next episode where him and Lloyd like chat, and Lloyd like is trying to help him, and he like wants the help but also can't take the help, etc., etc.
One more thing before we move on, though. Kai's in the right most of the time.
Yeah, no.
Like, he's not wrong to be suspicious. I feel like everyone else is like, "What are you doing?" Like, I feel like me towards everyone else is like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah,
he's holding all the weapons, and Kai's like fighting him, and
Garmadon's playing into it too. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna steal them," and then when everyone else shows up, he's like, "I would never steal them, boy."
Yeah, I know, but like, and everyone treats Kai like an idiot, but it's like, what? You go in and see the Dark Lord, who went to some like evil realm to get 4 arms so he could hold all the golden weapons.
Yeah.
And you see him holding all the golden weapons, like evilly, like maniacally laughing, and you go to fight him, and then it's like, Kai, what are you doing? And it's like, what do you mean? What is he doing? He's the only one who's like making sense there.
Yeah. No, I agree, and I feel so like watching that, it feels like Garmadon's intentionally taunting Kai to get a reaction out of him, but there's never really any consequences for that. Like, Kai's never really proven right about Garmadon. It's just like, at least not in this season. I don't remember every aspect of season 2, but like, yeah, Garmadon leaves with the weapons at the very end, but like, they're never like, wow, Kai, you were right. We should have kept a closer eye on him. Like, no, Kai just is sort of beat up for it, and then they're like, whatever.
Yeah, no, it's strange.
But the fight scene with the snakes in the fire temple is genuinely awesome. It's one of the best fight scenes from this season.
I agree. It was fun to watch.
And then Kai saving Lloyd was cool. I don't really get how Kai knew Lloyd was going to be the Green Ninja, because like he says that he's like, I realized my destiny wasn't to become the Green Ninja; it was to protect him. I think it more should have just been, to be the best ninja, I have to protect others. Like without knowing Lloyd is the Green Ninja. Like that part's a little strange to me, but. This is probably my least favorite of the True Potentials, but I still think it fits Kai, and it's pretty good.
I will protect those who cannot protect themselves.
Yeah, he's just like Book Guy.
Just like Book Guy, for real.
Alright, next episode is All of Nothing. This is a strange episode.
What happened?
This is the one where they find the underground snake fortress and they try to steal back the first 3 fang blades.
This one's good though.
Yeah, it is good. I kind of feel like, at least in season 1, Lloyd's sort of supposed to be a projection of the viewer of Ninjago, like a kid who wants to be a ninja and like is learning from all the others. But yeah, it was cute to see him like try to win. I really loved him and Garmadon's dynamic in this episode.
Agreed.
That's a whole life. Yeah, this is an episode I enjoy a lot. This episode establishes Vengestone, which becomes like very important for later seasons.
It still is important. Like that is one of the biggest questions we have going into the January season 2022. Is
right.
Like, who is the Vengestone buyer?
Right.
So like that this is a thing that was established back then is cool.
Yeah.
I actually didn't know it was established so early on.
So there is a theory with the Vengestone buyer that it's Pythor.
That would be interesting.
Because two things. So it's in Master of the Mountain, the Vangelis, like it's implied that the Vengestone buyer has been buying for years. So theoretically, Pythor could have gotten this Vengestone from Vangelis. Number 2, we never see where the 4th Fang Blade is hidden. We just know it's on the other side of Ninjago, which we also know that's where Shintaro is. So there's a theory that Pythor got the Fang Blade from Shintaro, and that's also when he made the deal with Vangelis to get the Vengestone.
Oh.
And he is now continuing to do it today, so...
That would be a really cool way also to integrate Legacy into the next season again.
Yeah, for sure.
Because they could just snakes the villain again.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Although, do we know what the villain is? Like,
No, we don't.
okay, that's not. There are no rumors yet.
No, not that I know of. Right, and then yeah, so not too much happens in this episode. They're just trapped, and then Lloyd's Garmadon comes in with the skeletons to fight the snakes, which that was an awesome scene.
Well, that scene.
But yeah, I feel like this is one of the weaker episodes of the season, but still pretty good.
It was very much like a build-up episode.
Yeah,
like this is getting to the end.
Next, we have the Rise of the Great Devourer, which is the penultimate episode.
Yep.
I love how Torchfire Mountain is literally just a volcano on a flat plain, and there's nothing else around it.
Good geography.
Yeah. Like, they had all these elaborate set pieces. They made a whole, like, snow world for Zane's home. And they're just like, yeah, put a volcano in the middle of just, like, a desert plain. Like...
Yeah, because that's how geography works.
Yep. Yeah, this one,
For anyone who doesn't know, volcanoes can only form in mountain ranges.
Yeah. This one, Pythor steals back the Fang Blades, and they go on the Snake Bus. The whole Snake Bus fight scene's great.
This episode in the beginning did bug me a little bit.
Why?
Because, like, why'd they have to make it a big deal to throw them in? Why didn't they just throw them in as the ship was going over?
Yeah,
like,
I know. It's...
to, like, just knock them in.
That's what I mean by, like, this season has a lot of plot convenience. Like, because if you're like, uh-oh, the ship's tipping, uh-oh, Pythor's on board, just toss it.
They only needed to throw one in.
Yeah, that's the other thing, yeah. But, like, I get, they gotta press the plot forward, it's for kids, it's not supposed to be that intense, but yeah, I had that same exact thought.
Like, you literally only need to get 1 of 4 in, how did you not... Let Wu die, because this is significantly more dangerous, and he's already talking about how he's gonna die.
Yeah. But
you literally only need to get 1. Why did they push Pythor over?
Yeah. Yeah, I had that thought too, but it's plot convenience. It's no sillier than Lloyd just being angry and just finding the ancient Hypnobite tribe that nobody has ever found before, so...
Yeah. Which also happened to be literally right next to the temple of, like, the monastery and Jamaica village.
Yeah.
But yeah, the train fight scene is so much fun.
Yeah, the train fight scene is great. I like when Cole spawns his car in the middle of the train car.
Yes.
And then just shoots the missile.
I honestly thought this episode was in season 2, though.
Well, there's a... So, the reason why you're confusing it is there's a episode where the snakes are on a... There's the snake train, which is the set that was based on this episode, actually appears in season 2. Because the snake train set is based off this episode, but in the show it's a bus, not a train.
Yeah.
But there is a snake train in season 2, which is a similar scene.
Okay, I thought there was, like, another scene like this.
And I don't even know if they turned the train into a snake, but I know there was snakes on a train in season 2. Where they kidnap the ninja and whatnot.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
In season 3, there are snakes on a plane, right?
There's snakes on a spaceship. Or no.
No, there's a movie called Snakes on a Plane.
Yeah, I know, I'm just... There's just a lot of snakes in Ninjago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the final scene of Wu holding Pythor in place as the Devourer eats them both.
It's fantastic.
That's so cool. The way the Devourer comes out of the ground and it's just like snaking up and it's like infinitely long.
Yeah.
And then Ninja just watching it all. That is so cool. That's so well done.
So, question.
Yeah.
How come the Great Devourer doesn't infinitely eat itself to infinitely grow?
I don't know. I don't feel like that would work.
Okay.
Alright, and then we have the final episode, the finale, Day of the Great Devourer.
It was pretty good. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching.
No, so this episode, this was good. I like seeing in the beginning of this episode, the Great Devourer chases them down and seeing the ninja get beaten down and like...
Agreed.
Just like... I can't find the word for it, but just like... disenchanted, like feeling like they can't do anything, they've lost the battle, and then Ninja never quit, right? And they turn around and save the day.
Like, obliterated by the snake.
What'd you say?
Brownie gets like obliterated by the snake.
I miss like so many flashbacks about childhood, just like that scene of the the Devourer picking up the bounty and like tosses it in the air and then just takes one bite and crushes it in two. Yep. So cool. The animation's really good. Like, there's a few shots from this season where I'm like, wow, that's genuinely beautiful.
But the snake goes to Ninjago City. It does some.
Well, actually, we're missing one part where they go to the junkyard.
Right. Yeah, they build the ultrasonic grader.
Yeah, which this makes me so sad about the Legacy set.
I know. It made me want the Legacy set, and then I'm like, wait, no, I don't.
Dude, the Legacy set doesn't even have the speakers on it.
I know.
Why does that's like literally the thing the vehicle was built to do?
I think that's why it's called the Sonic Raider.
Yeah. And that's why the remake was called the Ultra Stealth Raider, because it didn't have the Sonic function on it.
Yeah. I don't know. Did the original set have the speakers?
Yes, it had two big things coming out the sides.
Wait, I want to go look it up.
Yeah, it's not like completely accurate to the show, but it had two big, like, two big things coming out the sides, which are...
It had something.
Yeah. That are meant to be the speakers. And they just didn't put that in the Legacy version for some reason. It makes me really, really disappointed, because it's such a cool vehicle, the show, too.
Yeah. No, it's really cool.
Yeah.
It's cooler than our... Okay, yeah, no, I see it. Yeah. Okay. No, the Legacy one, I almost want to get it to mod it.
I think that's probably the best course, because there is elements of it there where you could turn that into the proper Ultrasonic Raider.
Plus, I like to mod LEGO sets.
Yeah,
so.
But, like, out of box, it is not what it should be at all.
No.
And even as a Legacy remake, that's not accurate. It's just not a good set either, so it just loses on all fronts.
Regardless, we're not talking about that right now. We're already going for a really long time.
Yeah. So to get into the city, to fight the Devourer, but they realize they can't, so they give all the weapons to Garmadon, and Garmadon climbs top of a building. They chase the snake around the city, which I love that scene too. That was one of my favorite scenes when I was younger. And then Garmadon jumps off the building, kills the snakes. It explodes into a giant blob of goo. I love that shot of the goo just covering the entire city. Yeah. And then Wu's okay.
Where's Pythor and Garmadon?
Yeah. Who knows? I think they're dead.
I think so. Prediction. Yeah.
Yeah, this video is, wow, very long, but as a whole, I like this season a lot. If I had to give an honor rating, honestly, probably 9 out of 10. Genuinely.
I'd say 9 out of 10 too.
The only reason I'm not giving it a 10 is because I know there's seasons I think I'm gonna like more later on. Yeah. But this is so much better than I remember. This is a top tier.
It's a really strong.
It's a really strong story. I understand why Ninjago stuck around for so long. It built the world. It built the characters. It had great villains. Like, genuinely, just so much here.
It's way better than I thought it was.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's really great, and 9 out of 10. Very good season. Let us know in the comments what you guys think of season 1 of the show.
We're watching along. Also, if you are watching along, season 2 will be next Sunday.
Yes, stay tuned next week. I'm very curious about that because pilots and season 1 were very strong, but from my memories of season 2, it's not. So
yeah.
So I know some people really like it, so I'm actually curious to hear your thoughts looking back, because I know from my rewatches it's one of my less favorite seasons, but there's a lot of people who called season 2 their favorite, so.
I have not watched this since 2013.
Yeah.
So.
I'm actually, this next week's going to be a very interesting discussion, because I feel like there's going to be more debate than... Because I have very strong and particular opinions on season 2, and I'd be shocked if you come out thinking the same thing I do about that season.
I'm going to take notes next week, so I have to say.
Yep, that's a good idea. I think I might do the same.
Just because I want more talking points that aren't just going through the episodes.
Yeah. But yeah, this we've been going for an hour 5.
Yeah, so I
think we talked when the series started about keeping it to 20 to 25 minutes.
We'll talk to you after this we finish filming.
Yeah.
About that a little bit, but
yeah, let us know what you thought of the season in the comments. Let me know what you thought of this episode in the comments, and about the length of the episode. Do you want us to continue to talk like this, or would you rather we cut it down for future episodes? Because we're open to whatever. Personally, I did enjoy this, but if you guys would rather see them shorter, I'm open to that. Also, this is the tied for the longest season, so
yeah. What's the other longest?
Season 2.
Okay, after that.
And then, technically Season 11 is the longest if we count Fire and Ice as the same, but I thought we might do 2 episodes on that.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably good to go.
Yeah, so if we do that, then those are only 7.5 episodes long.
Yeah.
So. But thank you everybody for watching this episode of Ninjago Revisited. If you enjoyed, please press like, subscribe if you're new. We do these every week. And stay tuned for Season 2 next week. Matthew is yawning. See you in the next one, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.